is a really big movie coming out.
And kind of form that bond without all the distrust.
All right.
And in the finale of Loki Season 2, we saw how Loki fully embraced how powerful he truly is as a god when he became the god of stories and used his Asgardian powers to hold together all the branch timelines,
Really
forming
strong.
the multiverse into the representation of Yggdrasil, the World Tree. And one thing I really dug about that Loki Season 2 finale was how it really wrapped the whole concept of Asgardian mythology into the broader concept of the multiverse.
Yeah.
And I can't help but wonder if this could mean that Asgardian mythology and Asgardian gods like Thor and Loki might end up being key characters in how some of these larger cosmic beings will also play into the bigger narrative of the multiverse saga.
Yeah, I think that's a fair
Because
point.
as we've seen in Phase 4, Marvel Studios have started to slowly introduce some of the biggest cosmic entities from the comics, like the Celestials and the Watcher. And in Thor Love and Thunder, we were introduced to a location at the center of the universe called the Gates of Eternity,
Right.
which included these statues to all the major cosmic beings, including the Celestials, the Watcher, the Living Tribunal, Eon, Death, Infinity, and then, of course, Eternity.
Right.
But what I thought was interesting about this is that the only way for a character to travel to the Gates of Eternity was using Stormbreaker to access the Bifrost.
That
So
is
basically,
interesting,
this was somehow the key to entering and finding this sacred cosmic location connected to eternity. And, you know, it makes me wonder why that is, and if perhaps Asgardian magic and mythology will also end up playing into the bigger role of some of these other cosmic beings in the multiverse saga, and how they could potentially tie into this bigger story of everything that's going to culminate in Secret Wars.
Yeah, I kind of like that. You know, we've been talking about technology and magic, and how the sort of combination of technology and magic is really what I think it's going to be a very important thread in like understanding the greater fabric, how this all fits together, right? And it is kind of cool that Thor is one of the first characters in the entire MCU to bring this up. Like he says to Jane in the first Thor movie, what you call science,
All right, so look.
you know, we refer to as magic, but what you refer to as magic is technology that we have that you don't understand. So I wonder if the Asgardians beings, well, the oldest beings in the known universe, especially like Odin, right? I mean, like, how old was Odin when he died? I don't know if we get a full answer to that, but like, yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if the Asgardians do have some kind of a link to these other greater beings. Something that maybe we'll discover is that why Loki is able to do what he's able to do. Even in the big breakdown video I did, I was like, well, you know, Asgardians do get more powerful as they age, and, you know, Odin puts some of the Odin force into Loki when he's a child, and, you know, I wonder if that has anything to do with how Loki is able to do what he does in the finale. But that's cool. I like where his head's at with this.
Because
it's kind of cool.
the cosmic entities did have a small but role in the Jonathan Incursion
Yeah, they get
saga,
slaughtered.
because we saw the Beyonders go to war with these cosmic beings and destroy all of them, so that these cosmic beings wouldn't interfere with the Beyonders' bigger plans to destroy the multiverse. So with the incursions kind of coming into focus more as we go forward in movies like Deadpool 3 and then other projects in Phase 6, and with everything building toward the Avengers Secret Wars movie, it does make me wonder how the cosmic entities will potentially fit into all of that, and if they will perhaps try to intervene somehow like they did in the comics. So yeah, Marvel Studios does write the cosmic beings into their story in some way. Maybe Thor, Loki, and Asgardian mythos will kind of tie into all of that, kind of building off of Thor, Love and Thunder, and having Asgardian magic and perhaps other Asgardian relics, or, you know, something like that, tie into communicating with some of these characters, or locating them, or I don't know, but just connect that in some way, just build off of what was already set up in Thor 4. Because we do know that Thor and the Asgardians were cosmic gods in the comics, like Gaia and the different elder gods, and how Thor: Love and Thunder really did really keep the mythology of cosmic entities, the MCU, and also setting up all the different cosmic gods of the MCU. When we saw the Halls of Olympus, it really does feel like Marvel Studios may be trying to kind of tie in some of the cosmic entities and cosmic gods into that bigger lore of Asgard and Thor in the MCU. And, you know, look, I thought Thor: Love and Thunder was...
And is that like where this is going, right? Like the idea of power, you know, and is Thor going to tap into that as some kind of expression or arbiter for power itself?
Hugely disappointed because I really
love
Thor Ragnarok, and I was really excited for Thor: Love and Thunder 1. It was announced, and it ended up probably being the most disappointing MCU project ever released, in my opinion. Because I was
It was until Quantum Mania.
So excited for it. But, that said, it did still introduce a lot of cool cosmic elements that Marvel Studios could build upon and tie into the plot of Thor 5.
Oh my God, are we going to have to rewatch this movie?
You know, do it well and take the movie seriously and don't put in a million jokes and bits like they did with Thor: Love and Thunder. And it sounds like that won't happen because Taika Waititi is not going to be involved this time. But after watching the ending of Loki Season 2 and then going back to Thor 4 and that whole Gates of Eternity scene and how the Bifrost was the key to the Gates of Eternity and to finding eternity himself, I can't help but wonder if Asgardian mythology could play some bigger role in all of that going forward with Multiverse Saga. And something else I've wondered about with Thor after watching the finale of Loki Season 2 is what untapped power we might see from him in the next project he appears in.
Yeah.
Because in the Loki finale, we saw Loki kind of reveal and tap into his true power and show how powerful he really is. And if that's how powerful Loki really is, you got to think that Thor is on that same level in some different way, and that we could see his untapped power in Thor 5 or one of these next Avengers movies. Because in the comics, Thor is immensely powerful, and we've never really seen Thor's true potential in the MCU the way we have in the comics.
True.
I mean, we got a glimpse of his true potential at the end of Thor Ragnarok, but for the most part, Thor has always relied on Mjolnir and Stormbreaker to access his power. So yeah, after seeing what happened to Loki and him embrace his full power at the end of Loki Season 2, it makes me wonder what the true power of Thor could be once he fully embraces his status as a god and as the Allfather, really.
Yeah, true.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that is a big part of what Thor 5 is about. Because even after all of Thor's character development throughout Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War, by the end of Avengers Endgame, Thor is still turning away from his place as the Allfather and the protector of Asgard because he has to...
This is a really good point. I was thinking a lot about this as well. Loki's arc is interesting because he goes from wanting a throne, just for vanity's sake, to a throne being the last thing he wants, to understanding that sitting on a throne at the end of time alone is how you serve. So you think about that, right? It's really good. It's really good. Someone goes from wanting to rule over Asgard to not wanting to rule over Asgard to essentially being like completely lost. He has like no idea what his actual purpose would be. And if we follow just the logic of like what happened with Loki and how we kind of flip that, Thor is likely to understand that he must lead and that he must be, you know, that powerful either leader, protector, or king or something like that, right?
First go out into the universe and kind of discover himself. So the part of Thor 5 is about Thor finding and embracing his place as an all-father.
Not playing with bitches anymore. I didn't realize. These fucking bushes, though, I'm shooting every bush that I come across.
Because I think that the Multiverse Saga will probably be Chris Hemsworth's final hurrah as Thor. because, you know, he's getting older, and with how hard it is for him to get that fit every time he has to play Thor, it's really hard on him. So one of the reasons...
Yes, that's totally true, and I think that that could be the case, but we're also watching Hugh Jackman in, like, his late 50s, you know, deadlifting and getting fucking jacked again to be Wolverine. So, like, I totally understand it, but it's gonna be up to them. You know what I mean?
Since I think that Thor 5 will probably come out in Phase 6 before Avengers Secret Wars, is because I think that Secret Wars will probably be Chris Hemsworth's final appearance as Thor in the MCU.
I actually
So if Marvel Studios wants to fully evolve Thor's character into a more...
Odin is rolling his grave as the last year.
That's time to have to do that. Now, as far as what other characters and villains could also appear in Thor 5, it's kind of hard to say with so little information. One thing was figure out a way for Hercules to be involved in the movie after his post-credits introduction in Thor Love and Thunder. And then we also have to remember that Thor Love and Thunder ended with Jane Foster being greeted to the gates of Valhalla by Heimdall. And the way that Marvel Studios have introduced Valhalla is as an astral dimension very similar to the comics. And by doing that, it kind of opens the door for Marvel Studios to potentially bring back dead Asgardian characters to some big project, like perhaps Odin, Heimdall, or of course Jane Foster. Now, I'm not saying they will do this, just that it opens up the possibility to do that if they want to. And as far as who the possible villain of Thor 5 could be, again, it's really hard to say for sure without knowing really anything about the plot. But if they wanted to go really big and dig into the crazy Asgardian mythos, like the Loki finale did, I personally think it would be really cool if they introduced the Midgard serpent in some way. Because there's just so much cool stuff they can do with that from the comics to create this big kind of magical spectacle. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents, and of course we'll have to see what happens, but those are just some of my initial thoughts regarding Thor 5 that I wanted to touch on with all this news coming out recently about it looking like it's in development. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this shorter video. I'm sure we'll come back to this topic and talk about it.
Yeah, that's cool for sure. I want to get into some of this myself as far as like theorizing and doing a little bit of research and whatnot. Because I agree that they're probably going to do something big with Thor. You know, take him to a crazy level of power. And I think that'll be dope. Yeah, I'll get in there and do a little bit more research and whatnot myself. Okay, guys, let's just do some Q&A. Let's get into some of the questions, super chats, member chats. We'll hang out in the chat for a little bit, and then we're going to get on out of here, guys. There's still some stuff I'm trying to figure out with the new setup in here. We're trying to figure out the powers so that I can run some space heaters in here and not fry the freaking power every couple of minutes. So hopefully we should be back to regular stuff next week. But now, let's just get into all this stuff. Okay, so Rosie first in today, says, I hope you talk about Elon and Iger today. Fire emoji. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. I mean, look, this is just one of those things that, like, a lot of you guys are just not going to like what I have to say. Because my perspective on both Bob Iger and on Elon are just, like, a little bit more nuanced. And I think a lot of you guys think that Elon is a champion of free speech and that he's doing all this stuff to, like, champion free speech. And I just don't agree. Like, I just flatly don't agree. And if you look at some of the ways that he's handled certain situations, like in Turkey, and if you look at some of the things that he's done on the platform and some of the people he's banned, that his team has banned, I just don't see it that way. So, you know, a lot of you guys are just, you're so set in your way of, like, Elon, free speech. And I'm just like, number one, that's not even true. Number two, this dude admitted himself that the tweet he made or the reply to that tweet was maybe the worst thing he had ever done on the platform. And then, like, a couple of minutes later said, if this boycott will destroy the company. And I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you're going to destroy the company. Like, imagine being able to admit that the tweet you made, which set off the whole boycott, was the worst thing you've done on the platform. Imagine being able to recognize that. And yet, then saying, the people that don't want to advertise on this platform, they're like these horrible people that are going to destroy the company, we're going to document it. Like, I think that's absurd. I think Elon needs to shut the fuck up and just get back to inventing and doing what he does well. I think he's a brilliant guy. That's pretty humble, like he said. But I'll tell you this, dude, Twitter is a fucking joke. And he thinks he's doing all this stuff. Like, imagine being the free speech guy. Imagine saying, like, you know, all I see around is these people saying they want to look good, but then doing evil. But ask yourself this question. How much more censorious, ridiculous, outlandish shit have you seen on Twitter since this guy bought it? This guy took the dial of absurd and dialed it up to 11. I've seen shooting, porn bots, street fights. I've seen the most ridiculous and absurd shit because they flooded Twitter, blew up garbage to try to dial engagement up to then use that to sell to advertisers. So, just in no way, shape, or form am I on the Elon Musk dick riding campaign. No way. But here's the other side of this. I also get what he's trying to do, and in some ways I think that he is correct. So it's like, that whole situation's crazy. And like, the idea, let me just, a little bit of behind the curtain. I literally had a meeting with a big advertiser yesterday. And like, we're going through stuff, we're trying to figure stuff out, we're, you know, coming to terms and all these sort of things. And I just thought in my head, as I was having this meeting with this advertiser, what would Elon Musk do? Would Elon Musk just turn around and be like, yeah, go fuck yourself? Like, and who on planet Earth thinks that within that kind of a business relationship, that the face of a company can come out and tell advertisers to go fuck themselves and expect what? Like, that's not like, yeah, I think Elon Musk is the dumbest smart person on the planet. That's what I think. And as far as Bob Iger is concerned, I mean, Bob Iger's just doing what a CEO does. He's trying to control the narrative, set a North Star, wave the curtain in front of Wall Street, and say whatever he has to grab up positive publicity. Because the entire market value of Disney, according to Wall Street, is a speculative game. It is all speculation. So, what's Bob Iger saying? I mean, probably whatever he thinks he needs to say to try to get that stock price up. Like, period. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know? Like, dude, it's cool and funny that he told Bob Iger to go fuck himself, but that's probably going to lead to banks owning Twitter within 16 months. Which, to be honest with you guys, I want to happen. Elon is not doing a good job on Twitter. Like, objectively. It's not good. You know what I mean? And no amount of bot farms or dick riders on that platform are going to convince me otherwise. Like, it's trash. It will be better if the banks take it back. Because he took it private with bank loans. And I was sitting on the board of a bank, or if I was in charge of their investment operations, and I saw the guy that we gave, I mean, I don't know how much they gave him, because I think he had some cash up front, but let's say it was $20 billion of the 44. Can you imagine giving $20 billion to a guy that's supposed to make a company profitable, and this guy's literally telling advertisers to go fuck themselves? Banks take it back, LOL. John, just watch what happens. You don't have to believe it. Just watch. Just watch. You know, I will say I trust Elon over Disney. Why? You trust the South African billionaire. Why? Like, why? What? He said Cybertruck stands down to 5. Why? I like Elon, but Elon he is exactly a South African billionaire. Like, that's exactly what he is. And it's like, I don't even like talking about it because I think what Elon is actually really good at is marketing. You know what I mean? That's what I think. So anyway, that was just the first one. Second one says, Shell Nut says, first member chat ever. Thoughts on current state of Star Wars? Do you know what the next Star Wars project will be? Much love, bro. Yeah. So, the next project will be Bad Batch Season 2. At least from what I've heard. That's supposed to come out early next year. The Acolyte, I believe, is supposed to hit in the middle of next year. And I think Skeleton Crew is going to hit next year in, like, winter time. Or, like, slower. Or later in the year. So that's what I think is going on. Thanks for the chat, man. Corey says, yo, Josh, it's been a great 8 months with the Nerd Vendors. Can't wait for the years to come and to meet up next year. Keep doing what you're doing. Hell yeah. I'm excited, too. You know, I went, like, today, man, like, I don't know, I'm kind of like a funky week. I really didn't even want to do it. So, yeah, so I was like, yeah, let's just get it and get in there. But, like, if I were a teacher, right, and I had to go teach the class, this would have been the kind of day where I would have just brought in a bunch of pizzas, and we just would have had a pizza party. You know? Like, that's the kind of vibe I was on. Where I was like, yo, like, surprise pizza party, class. Let's fucking watch some movies and eat some pizza. Like, that's the kind of wave I'm on right now. But, yeah, I appreciate the love, man. When we get together next year, it's going to be fire. The meetup this year was incredible. It was great. I had a great time with y'all. So, yeah, we'll do it again next year. It's going to be big. Again, Mr. JB, thanks for the 5 gifted, baby. Kavit says, curious question. Since I have YouTube Premium, do you still make ad revenue off me? If not, here's $5. Yeah, so you actually make more money off of folks. Well, I guess it kind of depends, right? From what I understand is when you have YouTube Premium, a portion of your money, I think it's the 70%, is split among the creators that you watch, but it's weighted. So, like, as an example, let's say the only channels you watch are me and Paul from Heavy Spoilers. If we're the only 2 channels you watch, then per month, we will split 70% of your whatever that costs for YouTube Premium. But if you watch like 10 channels, it gets split among 10 channels. Now, that actually ends up being more money for the creators. So I think we actually make more money off of people that have YouTube Premium. But I'm not 100% on that. That's kind of the way that that's the way it used to operate. I haven't really looked into that for like a long time, so I'm not really sure. Chris says, everyone, I hate Disney. Me going to chill at Galaxy's Edge tomorrow. LOL. May the force be with you. Hey, man, I hope you have a good time. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm obviously not a big fan of like what Disney's doing lately. I think they suck, and I think that the biggest thing that I think, well, maybe it's not the biggest thing, but one of the things that's really hurting them is their inability to like just hold the L. Like, it feels like they just can't hold the L, and they want to, like, shuffle around it or hide the fact that they're really out of touch and, like, shedding audience and people hate them. Pretty, like, people really hate them. And it's like, if they would just, like, hold the L a little bit and be like, yeah, you know, we are kind of fucking up a little. I feel like that would go such a long way. But, I'm also not one of these people that thinks Disney's going to just, like, completely disappear. And I still think that they have the ability to turn this around. Like, I want them to turn it around. You know what I mean? I would really like them to, like, get their shit back together. Marvel to be popping, Star Wars to be popping. It would make my life a lot better. It would make the content a lot better. Like, it would just be, it would be great all around. 100%. These CEOs think the audiences are just dumb moviegoers that will just show up. Tired of them pushing bad shit. Also, Wyatt Russell for MVP. Yeah, he said he had some interesting quotes. I thought that was pretty cool that he came out and said, I mean, that's just a great quote. That's what you want to hear from your players when the team is struggling, you know? Because he basically came out and said, you know, a lot of people were saying that Marvel's, you know, kind of on a downslide or you know, kind of bad over there, and so it's time to get to work. You know, I think Thunderbolts is going to be great. You know, it's not your average, predictable MCU movie. It's going to be really good, so it's time to get to work. And I was like, yo, like, I like that attitude, bro. Is Wyatt Russell the hero that we need right now? That would be wild. Can you imagine? U.S. citizen, hard carrying the MCU moving forward. That'd be cool. Space Trick Serial TM says, hyped to make a stream. Been playing catch up with you on a Mexico cruise. Oh, nice, man. Snuck and Indica backed the cart on and have been taking those Bespin blinkers. My man, that sounds like a good ass time, man. Just don't fall off the boat, man. Don't take too many, you know? Shit. But yeah, that sounds cool. U.S. agent. Yeah, man. Let's get it. Finto says, did you see Snyder's comments on the project that would return him to superhero directing? Dark Knight Returns or Daredevil movie he would do. Imagine. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be perfect. So, you know, I think he's going to go on and do a lot of Rebel Moon, which apparently there's a part 3 of Rebel Moon that's... Like, after tomorrow, when I release this video, and the whole world watches it because you guys are going to share it out to every grandma on the planet, and after everybody starts to wake up and realize that Rebel Moon's going to be the dopest dope you ever smoked, then yeah, I think we're going to get that part 3. And look, he's got a lot of work to do creating the Rebel Moon franchise over the next 5 to 10 years. But after that, yeah, come on back to DC. Affleck will be older, so you could do older Affleck, Dark Knight Returns. That sounds great. Snyder woke? Snyder is woke. I think Zack Snyder's always been woke. One of the rare folks out there that does woke correctly. David said, any opinion on Bruce Campbell saying he's the same character in all Marvel movies? Nerdbangers for life. Almost 3 years. Hot damn, David. I appreciate that. I can't tell if he's just fucking around. I can't tell if Bruce Campbell is just fooling. If he's just like talking, or is there something like really crazy going on? Can you guys imagine if they made Bruce Campbell one of the Beyonders? Like, wouldn't that be cool? Molecule Man? Maybe. He could be. What if he's of the Beyonder? And that leads to Kang, like, finding him or taking him out, or, like, the Beyonder plays some kind of role or something like that? That would be kind of fun, man. That would be kind of fun. Toby from 838 confirmed. I haven't seen anything about that, so I don't know. Leon says, damn, that might be one stream I downvote. MOM was super meh. How dare you? Yeah, right, bro. You gotta come to that stream, man. Trust me, after you watch the stream, you're gonna be like, damn. That's actually crazy. I didn't consider it. Oh my god, I never thought of it this way. Multiverse Madness, a masterpiece! Callisto says, I got the day off for my birthday. Guys, let's get some happy birthdays in the chat for Callisto, a member for 39 months. Holy shit, that's a lot of support. Thank you so much. Since I won't be here Tuesday, I'll say happy birthday to you now. Do you and Elisa have anything fun planned? No, I mean, all I want to do is just play video games and chill. And then Thursday, there's a new Warhammer game that comes out. I'm going to be playing that with my buddy all day. So all I asked for my birthday was on Thursday, I just want to have the full day to just game and hang out with the homies. So that's what I'm going to do. Happy birthday to you. So, Arthur says, love this one because I loved MOM, and 2, Michael loves Kang. Does he? Does he love Kang? I hadn't heard that. But yeah, no, I'm excited too. But Fresh Towel says, on Gary's stream, they said MOM has done more damage to the MCU and is equally as bad as the Marvels and Quantumania. Why do you think it's a masterpiece? Well, it is a masterpiece. Okay, I just happen to be a person that's elevated in taste and intellect to be able to recognize it as a masterpiece. Every person that doesn't, well, I can't really relate. You know, I mean, I don't know what it's like. But, I don't know. Paint chips, radius to nuclear facilities, zodiac signs, fluoride in the water. I mean, there are probably explanations. I just don't know what makes a motherfucker that, you know, daft to not be able to recognize it. You know what I mean? So that's why I recognize it as a masterpiece. Appreciate you, though. J Phil with the 10 spot says, Deadpool roasting the MCU and the state of comic genre is going to be epic. That will indeed be pretty awesome. I'm very excited for Deadpool. It's going to be a good time. Code name 17 says, MOM is amazing. How does anyone have an issue with Wanda being evils if she used the Darkhold? If you hate it, you're rad. Oh, I Code name 17. Top marks. Purple Funk says, Raimi is an OG top tier director. MOM is S tier MCU. See, these are my people. See, these are my people. Watch those videos that criticize MOM. Yeah, I could. You guys want to go watch some of those and just absolutely shred those videos? Talk about how they're all wrong? You know, they're the truth. You know, I think I get it. Like, I'm not trying to go. You can have your own opinions. It's all good. What I've seen, the worst kind of people hate Marvel. The worst kind of people are the people that are dug in on either side of the There's got a lot of people on the left who dislike the movie because they think it does some kind of a disservice to women. And then you've got a bunch of people on the right who hate the movie because they think it's all girl power. And they think it just attracts from Strange and it's all just fraudulent of all of these female characters. How can it be both of those things? It can't be. They're wrong. It's just poor writing. No, it's good. We're gonna do it. You know what? I'm probably gonna make that the video on Monday. Unless some